Today's cold, gray, and windy. It's not that uncommon for a March day here in Cincinnati. Today I want to talk to you guys about what is the weather like in Cincinnati. You know, we've helped a lot of people move to the area, and more, it's not that uncommon for one of the things that people say of why they want to move to Cincinnati is for the weather. And as someone who's lived here for 30 plus years, I'm kind of like, really? The weather? But if you are living in, let's say, Texas or Florida, you're like, you know what? I'm tired of the heat. I want to experience some of the seasons. Or if you're living in Minnesota or New York or Michigan, and you're like, you know what? These winters are killing me. I need to get somewhere a little bit more warm, a little bit more mild. And just like a lot of things where you stack up Cincinnati nationally, a lot of times it's right down the middle in terms of size and population and cost of living and different things like that. Weather, kind of the same. We're right in the middle of the country, and our weather is also kind of right in the middle of the country. Let's talk more about it. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Eric Sztanyo from Keller Williams Realty and TeamStanyo.com, where we are helping you find your home and strengthen your family. Up here looking at the awesome Cincinnati skyline today at DeVue Park. I'm looking at my son, who is flying a drone right now, getting some cool images. It's kind of a gray day. It's kind of a cold day, but I'm excited because we're about, March 10th when I'm filming this today. And we're getting really close to one of my favorite days of the year in Cincinnati, which is opening day. It's kind of like the unofficial holiday. Everyone kind of takes off work, watches the Reds, maybe has a few adult beverages, but even more so than celebrating the Major League Baseball's oldest baseball team, that's part of it. You're also celebrating the fact that, hey, winter's over, spring is here, the boys of summer are just about to get started. It's a really fun time of year. So I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but Cincinnati weather is it's a pro of Cincinnati. It's also kind of a con of Cincinnati. What I mean by that is this: you get 4 seasons in Cincinnati. You get winter, you get spring, you get summer, you get fall. You know, there's a lot of other places around the country where you don't get those full 4 seasons. And if you grew up in that, or if you're in a climate that it's kind of consistent all year round, it gets a little monotonous. It gets a little boring. And so right now we're ending winter and we're starting to head into spring. And I've got to tell you, it's a really fun thing. It feels like you're part of the natural rhythms of the earth when you know that winter is breaking. Everything that is brown and gray and dead is now about to come back to life. You're about to see a lot of color. The grass starts turning green. You start seeing buds on the trees. The flowers start blooming. And it's really, really exciting. It makes you long for spring, you know, especially as you kind of head into that Passover Easter season. It's one of my favorite parts of being here in Cincinnati is when spring comes and all that life starts blooming and it comes alive. It's kind of telling the grander story, which I really love. And you get to experience that with the weather of the season. Now, the downside to that is there's a lot of temperament. You know, it's not 70 degrees and sunny every day here. You get a lot of days that are like this, that are gray and cloudy and windy. And especially in like the March and April months, you get a lot of teases. And so like one day it might be 65 and sunny and you're like, yes, spring is here. And then next day there's snow on the ground in the morning and you're like, no, we're going back into winter. It's like the rug was pulled out from under you. So you just kind of got to roll with the punches as the seasons change and know that there's some fluctuations as you're moving from season to season. So someone who grew up here, I moved here when I was 7 years old from Michigan. So I was used to a colder climate up there. Came down here. I've lived here for 30 plus years now. I'm raising my family here. Let me tell you some of my favorite months of weather and some of my least favorite months. As I mentioned before, the spring season in April is always really exciting. Like the older I get too, the more I get excited about it, which I don't know what that is. I get a little weepy. I'm like, oh my gosh, we made it through another winter. But probably one of my favorite months of the year is May. May is beautiful in Cincinnati. Now in the springtime, one thing you do need to watch out for that I didn't have as a young kid, but as I grew into adult, I did, is the allergy season. That can come get you as the tree pollen's coming out in April and in May. So watch out for that. But other than that, I love May. It's beautiful, super blue skies, clear skies. As a pilot's son, I really appreciate clear skies. May and into June is great. July and August, in terms of the summer, also fantastic. I love swimming, at pools, going to Reds games, going and playing at Kings Island, having that warm water, but the humidity can get a little bit old after a while. So my other favorite time of year besides May, I love September and into October. I love the weather then. It's clear, it's crisp. Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky are a big high school football town as well. And so you hear all the different bands, the high school bands practicing. Football's in the air, it's starting to cool off a little bit. And fall season is just a great time in Cincinnati as well. All right, my least favorite month in Cincinnati by far, no question, February. I hate February. I don't mind the cold as much, but it's just that you don't see the sun. It's days like this for days upon days upon days. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need the sun. I always tell people, if you're from a more sunny climate, February is the month where you need to go ahead and plan a vacation, get to Florida, get to the Caribbean. My wife and I, when we can get the childcare for our 5 kids, we try to go down to Cancun or somewhere down to look at the ocean, get the sunshine, just to break up February a little bit, break up the winter, because that's the one where you can get that seasonal depression where it's like, oh my gosh, like, is this winter ever going to end? So that's my least favorite time. Even though I like the winter, I love it for Christmas, I love it for New Year's, I love snow and playing in it with my kids. But overall, for the entire calendar year, February's got my vote for least favorite time of the year. What is your favorite time of year in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky for weather, and your least favorite time of year?
My least favorite time of year is probably like late winter or early spring because it's just super cold. My favorite time is late summer, early fall. I think that's when the best weather is.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, guys, I hope that's helpful to let you know a little bit about the weather here in Cincinnati, what you can expect. There's fun things to do all year round. There's always something to do in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, or in the surrounding areas. One of the things I love about the city, it's so central. There's a lot of things to do, not only in the city, but nearby as well. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place to live. If you are thinking of moving to Cincinnati, hit us up at Team Sztanyo. We would love to help you. 513-813-6293. If this video was helpful for you guys, please click the like button and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.